So the other day, this is kind of random, but the other day someone said something very hurtful to me, just very demeaning. And I don't know how I took it in the moment, but I just remember afterwards just taking that in and just thinking like, wow, where did that come from? You know, where did that come from? And I realized also that the most demeaning, detrimental things that you can tell someone is just to simply magnify the insecurity that they have and to just simply point at it and tell them how true it is. That's the most demeaning thing that you could do to somebody. And that's essentially what this person did to me, right? And as I was walking the dog and just processing this, for some reason, I went back to the story of Mark chapter 8 when Jesus feeds the 4,000, because it's titled Jesus feeds the 4,000, right? But that's what's magnified. That's the focus. But there's a lot more to that story that I think people miss. And just starting out with the verse, it says, Jesus says, the first thing he says about the people who have been with him for 3 days. That means he's been a real good preacher if people haven't eaten in 3 days. But the first thing he says is that I have compassion for them. I know they have nothing to eat. If I send them home hungry, they will collapse along the way because some of them have come a long, long way. And that really resonated with me because I feel like in my life, to where I am now, I feel like I've come a long, long way. And Jesus was concerned not only what they needed, which was food, which was to be fed, but he was concerned about where they came from. And I think a lot of people miss that. I think I miss that a lot. Jesus isn't only concerned about what I need. He's concerned about where I come from. So I was thinking where that came from, from that person. I was thinking like, well, where did I come from to take that hurt so badly, right? What do I need right now? And it's funny because in the subsequent verses, his disciples answered, but where in this place can anyone get bread to feed these people? And Jesus says, how many loaves do you have? That's the funny part. He doesn't say, because Jesus knows everything. He knew how many loaves there were, but he asked a pointed question, how many loaves do you have, right? And they replied 7. They replied 7. So how do you think they got that 7? They had to go look for it. So it's funny because part of that, thinking of where I'm at and how did this hurt me and what I need to do, where is God? Can God help me? Part of that journey, God has the compassion to be with you where you came from and to lead you along the way to where you need to be. But secondly, God is looking at you and saying, what do you have? Stop looking at what other people have. Stop looking at essentially the other folks, the other people who aren't there, the other people who are hungry. Start looking at yourselves. How many loaves do you have? What can you search for within yourself that is more valuable, that is more essentially faithful, more understanding than what these people who aren't with me think they have but don't? And that's the greatest question you can ask. Not only where have I come from or what do I need, but what do I have that can help me get through these moments? What do I have already that will help me rise again?